Hello everyone, Mike is doing project on the go as always, and today he has something interesting that you might want to watch. Well, our navigation light is not working. We went to Budget Marine in a couple of like hardware stores, but they didn't have any of that here, so Mike geniusly invented something.
Alright, our navigation light.
Navigation lights are lights that tell other boaters what side of the boat they are seeing in the dark. Green faces starboard and forward, red faces port and forward, while white is the stern of the boat. Seeing these combinations of lights tell other boaters what direction and angle of the boat they are seeing and the possible direction that you're moving.
This goes on the starboard front of the boat. The light bulb inside, which in this case is an LED from Amazon, back when we were in Virginia. We will not recommend it because it's not waterproof. Kind of silly to have a navigation light on a boat. It goes right in the front of the boat, and we realized later that it's not waterproof, it's not sealed. It actually has holes in the back of it, making it very unwaterproof. There's no rubber seals, no nothing. So with this LED circuit board got fried, only one of the diodes in it dimly lit. I cleaned it up with contact sprayer and a brush, and I could only get the one light to just get a little bit brighter, but there's definitely something wrong with this. All the diodes look kind of odd, but moving beyond that. So that was mounted inside of this. Now we went to the marinas here for a light like that. They got big ones that you'd put on a fishing boat on a pole or something. Nothing like these little bow ones. So what I did is we got some 12-volt lights that were our cabin lights that are also not waterproof, and they were covering deck bolts for tracks and granny bars and such on the boat. So when we had a little bit of a leak there, it wrecked the circuit board also on these. You could actually see the salt on the wire there. But the bulb itself, this is what one looks like. The bulb itself still works, the LED diode, and they're 12-volt diodes, 1 watt each. So they're pretty bright diodes. So all I decided to do is cut one out, which almost fits in here perfectly. This is on an aluminum plate. So I just bent the wings in a bit and put a washer on that little bolt, which is already mounted on an angle, which helps. So when you tighten it up, this faces the front of the boat, and then my cap will fit on there. But before I put this together, I'm going to waterproof it, and then I'm off the hook having to buy one for a while, because this is going to be a lot brighter than the one that I bought from Amazon. Hopefully it doesn't melt the plastic. It gets pretty warm, but it also is going to be up in the front of the boat, getting a lot of breeze. So if it doesn't work out, I mean, it was right up against these plastic lenses, but these also have resistors in them. I tried gutting one, and I'm not an electrician, but none of those look like resistors to me. One says 3350 volt VT, which is the closest thing, but they're not a typical little resistor with little solder on ends on them. This particular light had a sensor touch, which did the dimming bright and dark, and I think the resistor is inside of that, possibly some sort of digital resistor rather than a typical mechanical resistor. So I'm gonna skip that altogether and put this together like this. I'll take you inside right now and we can see if that's gonna even work after I meddled with it. Just for the sake of testing this, I've got wires clipped to my breaker panel. And there it is. That is super bright. That's going to work better than the original. And now I'll be able to waterproof it. It'll probably last longer than the original did, as long as this plastic doesn't melt. If it melts, then I'll cut the wires and wait till we get something further down the road. But for now, I'm going to get this put together. Alright, now before I put this together, I want to seal up that hole that the wires come through. I don't have any clear silicone, so I'm using this black stuff that I used for doing the our new hatches. I'm just getting these little screws on with washers on the stands that hold it on the right angle. Alright, so I got it in there with 2 screws holding it on the angle. I'm just gonna try to put a clean bead around this, which I'm sure is going to prove difficulty to not get it all over myself. That wasn't too bad. Snap it in. There, it squirted out everywhere. So that is now sealed. Extremely messy. Alright. Now there is the matter of these 2 holes in the back. Don't know why they're there. So I gotta seal them. This stuff takes a little while to dry, and I gotta solder these wires on. I don't want to get this everywhere, so we're just gonna let this dry a bit. It takes a day, but I think if I leave this in the sun, it'll probably take a couple hours and I'll be able to work with it again. So I'm gonna try that. I'll get back to you soon.
So after the adhesive dried, I reinstalled it on the bow and used a soldering iron with some shrink wrap electrical insulators, and the light worked great ever since. So in a pinch, you got to use what you have to get by until you can get the proper one. In this case, this will probably outlast the original one in the first place, so I'm happy with how things went. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends, and we'll see you next week.